What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I'd like to give my thoughts on the Atlanta Falcons' second preseason game versus the Tennessee Titans. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content or NFL content. If you'd like to follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can donate to my Cash App, which is the $ Jew Talk Sports. And if you'd like to be a part of my Jew Talk Sports membership, you can hit that join tab here on the channel as well. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So as I mentioned in today's video, I do want to give my thoughts on the Atlanta Falcons' second preseason game versus the Tennessee Titans. And the first thing that stood out to me in this preseason game was a couple different players that stood out. First player is Nate Carter, the backup running back. I believe he's like our third or fourth string running back on the roster. He had a really good game. In the first game, we struggled. Our second string offensive line struggled to get a push up front, and we struggled to run block and things of that nature. But in this second game, we did a much better job of giving our running backs creases to run through. And Nate Carter is one of those guys where he proved in this game that he has great speed and a great burst. And he's a guy that's can, one cut and go downhill. And he showed it in this game with his touchdown run. I believe it was like a 40-yard touchdown run where he hit a crease and ran through some arm tackles and he was gone. So I really like what I saw out of Nate Carter. I do think that he could be possibly a player that could make the Atlanta Falcons practice squad. I don't think he'll be on the 53-man roster because the Falcons are carrying. Usually they carry 2 to 3 running backs on the active roster. We know that Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier will be 1 and 2 at that running back position, but we still have guys like Carlos Washington, who hasn't played in the preseason, who was with the Atlanta Falcons last year and on the practice squad last year. But I do like what I saw out of Nate Carter. If he's not on this Atlanta Falcons practice squad, he definitely will be a guy that I think another team will try to scoop up based off of what he did in this game against the Tennessee Titans. But hopefully we can at least try to stash him on our practice squad. The next player that stood out to me in this game was Chris Blair, the wide receiver for our Atlanta Falcons. He had another great game, scoring a touchdown for his second time in the preseason. It seemed like him and Easton Stick, those guys have a great connection. And Chris Blair's been one of those guys that's been on this Falcons team, I believe, for about 2 to 3 years. And he's a guy that continuously has gotten better and better every single year. And at this point, I feel like he solidified himself to be on this Atlanta Falcons team. I believe he will actually make the 53-man roster. He played a little bit in the regular season last year, but he's continuing to flourish and blossom. And I really think that he's turned into a really good wide receiver. He's also a guy that can play special teams. But all he's done all preseason long is make plays. To me, he's been the best wide receiver in these preseason games based off of his production, going up and making contested catches, running great routes, using speed. And just he can do it all pretty much. So I like what I'm seeing out of Chris Blair. I think he's kind of solidified himself to be on this Falcons team. If he doesn't make the 53, which I think he will, he definitely will be a guy that's going to make this Atlanta Falcons team on the practice squad. But he's another guy that I would kind of be scared to put on the practice squad, because I feel like Chris Blair would be another guy that another team would probably try to scoop up and grab off of our practice squad. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, Natron Brooks did have an interception in this game. And Natron Brooks is another guy that's been a developing player for the Falcons, has been on this team for the last 2 to 3 years as well. He started to blossom last year in the preseason. He played really well, and then he had got moved up off of the practice squad and played in a couple games for us last year as well in the regular season. So Natron Brooks is one of those guys that's an instinctual player, but a great hustler. He's a guy that hustles to the football, is always around the football, and has a knack for the football. And he came away with a crucial interception in this game. And as I mentioned to you guys, I really feel like this Atlanta Falcons defense, their calling card is going to be creating turnovers. And Natron Brooks is a guy that's physical, is a really good tackler. Even though he's a smaller corner, he can tackle, he can play out in space. A guy that's fearless when coming up and making tackles. But he showed his innate ability and his instincts in this game to come away with the interception. James Pierce was able to get a little bit of pressure on the quarterback, and Natron Brooks read his eyes and basically, got the interception and then attempted to take it back for a touchdown. So I definitely think that Natron Brooks is another guy that was on the bubble, but I think he could be a guy that's going to make the 53-man roster too, by the way that he's really played in this preseason. So all in all, I was really impressed with what I saw out of this Atlanta Falcons team in their second preseason game. The only thing that I didn't like was some of the penalties, like the false start penalties and things of that nature on the offense. We kind of struggled in the first half to get anything going consistently. But once the second half rolled around, guys got comfortable. We started to move the ball a little bit more with more efficiency. So that's the only thing that I would like to see cleaned up in the last preseason game, is just the flags and things of that nature, the stuff that we can control as far as, false start penalties and holding penalties and things of that nature. But I really feel like this Atlanta Falcons team is going to be a really good team in the regular season and have a shot at making the postseason. I really feel like we're one of the most talented teams in the NFC and in the NFL altogether. So I'm really excited about this upcoming season. But you guys give me your thoughts on some of the players that stood out to you in this game. As I mentioned, the players that I mentioned, Chris Blair, Nate Carter at the running back position, and then Natron Brooks, those were the three guys that really stood out to me in the game. Of course, James Pierce Jr., he continues to jump off the screen just because of his explosiveness. He again almost came away with 2 sacks in the game, but he was getting pressure on the quarterback pretty much for the whole game. And I really feel like what's going to make James Pierce Jr. a really good player for our Atlanta Falcons this season is his athleticism and his ability to track down these mobile quarterbacks and things of that nature. Now, I do believe that James Pierce Jr. is going to have to play with better leverage, because there has been times when he's crashed down and left the mobile quarterbacks or the quarterback position to run outside the pocket because he's crashed down. But I really feel like at this point, James Pierce is a guy, that could, have a very high ceiling and really make plays for this Atlanta Falcons team this upcoming season. So with that being said, if you enjoy my content, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button for your boy. I have a lot more content coming for you guys. But as always, Falcons Nation, rise up, be blessed. Peace.